Muting everything and not unmuting the right things. All right. Hey, welcome aboard the crazy world of flying with Mike sometimes. We're on the deck here in Los Angeles, California, or otherwise told by our favorite comrade Bugs Bunny, Los Angeles. And we are going to do a short flight tonight. I know we've been doing a lot. I actually do have a couple long flights up my sleeve coming. Longer, let's put it that way. Not long. I know some of you would love me to go to Singapore, but that's not in the cards in one flight. I'll fly into Singapore, don't get me wrong. We're not doing it in one flight. But I do have a couple longer flights coming. So take a look at the schedule here on Twitch, also on our Discord channel, and take a look at what's ahead. So granted, I only really put Mondays and Fridays. Sundays are a toss-up, even though I'm off. It is the Lord's Day, and you know, I still try to put family first, and then if time allows, then we stream. So just so you know how that works on Sundays. And we also try, but it all depends how I feel when I come home from work. A lot of times I am just beat, both emotionally because of things that happen at work, and more importantly, physically. And but there are times I can get a stream in. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know there are going to be some longer flights here soon. All right, so we are in Northwest Airlines, and what you caught me in, I'm doing it right now, getting ACARS running for Piedmont Virtual. That's the one. Start it. I said start. There we go. Yeah, you know, sometimes you got to tell it a couple times to make it work. But anyway, we're up and running here on Twitch. Later tonight, you'll have this out there in YouTube's world. And I really hope you enjoy them. Please feel free to comment. I take them, I read them, I try if there's positive critiques or even negative critiques. Blah, 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 blah. Even if there are negative criticisms, try to be constructive. Help me out what you're trying to say. And who knows, I may be able to adapt, overcome, and save your day. So, all right, so we are in Northwest Airlines in the new A320 ToLiss add-on. Keep that in mind, add-on for ToLiss, the CEO engines. A long time coming, and glad it's here. I don't think we're going to see any weather along the way, but you know, you just never know. So, you know what? Let's crawl up in the cockpit, take a look at this flight, and get it rolling. One other caveat for those of you that think we're going to be on VATSIM, not this flight. We're going to use the XP12 default ATC. Now, on Discord a couple nights or maybe a couple weeks ago, I did a flight on XP12 ATC. And confusing, to say the least. Another person out there that loves the stream was up and running with us. We were shaking our heads at, why did you send us that way? It seemed like we did most of the flight getting around to the first fix to then go on to the destination, only to be set free once we crossed into Los Angeles territory. So, and I kind of get it, because at that point you probably are VFR and you're going to end up in what we would have been. It was Phoenix to Lake Havasu. And Lake Havasu does not have a tower. It's common traffic. And in a caravan, okay, that's cool. So I think that's why they cut us loose. or at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So we're going to see how this works. Now, this is a well-documented, well-set-up route from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. So hopefully, and I say that word hopefully, it will work. I have seen this ATC be amazing, but I haven't seen it really amazing in the U.S. It always gets lost, if you will. And it's, of course, me, the operator. We know always operator error. But we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. All right. So without further ado, up into the cockpit we go. And hey, it's an A320, A319, A321, A340, A330. Kind of sort of an A350, although really not. Cockpit. No, not an A350 by any stretch. All right, and that's the cool thing about Airbus. You pretty well know the panel. Now, if you have the A340, of course, there'll be a couple more engines. But it's set up pretty easy to transition to your next aircraft, where always the hang up is the cockpit's not the part that hangs people up. It's everything else. The performance, emergency procedures, this, that, and the other. While they try to stay similar, they get a little different and so forth. For us, we just get to enjoy it. Okay, this piece of cake. It's the same as what I just flew. So, all right, so here we go. Let me clear that screen. What I'm going to do is bring Sim Toolkit in, our scorekeeper, and basically, oh, look at that. Man, did I pick the wrong day, I think, to fly on ATC or on the default ATC. It looks like it's going to bed already. Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. All right, well, let's get the plane. Oh, no, center is up. Disregard. I thought it was down. I'm like, what happened? No, I see it here in the corner up here, corner over here. And that's not totally why I actually really, you know what? I actually really do want to try this with the default ATC. So today's flight, 139 people make up our 31,400 pounds of payload. We've put on 12,600 pounds. Boy, do we feel it. Man, that's a lot of weight really quick. Oh, I'm sorry, the airplane did. Now, the cargo, yeah, we didn't do that. And I'm not 100% sure why that wasn't updated. But the Orca 5 MISEN departure to the MISEN renders for arrival into Las Vegas. All right, we're coming out of here, 24 left. Landing 26 left. Probably scored 26 right. The way it goes usually. But who knows? Might get it right. 29,000. Yeah, that seems pretty good. 40 on the cost index. How many of you all saw that? Hey, a little blob right here. Will it be there when we fly? Probably not, but we'll try. More potential for tomorrow. That's all I'm going to hint. It'll come up eventually for you all to check out. Today's weather, well, it's Southern California. Never rains in Southern California. And they complain about that. The song even tells them it never rains in Southern California. So 260 at 14 for the wind. So basically out of the west at 14. 10-mile visibility and just a few clouds here and there. Overall, like I said, a beautiful day in the valley. Over in Vegas, the winds are actually out of the northeast, 060 at 6, 10-mile visibility. However, They have a few clouds around 6,000 AGL. Now, I'm putting that word in there for a reason we'll find out later. Broken 10,000 AGL. That's right. A lot of people think it's MSL. No, no, no. If it were MSL, that few clouds at 6,000 at Bogota would be 2,000 feet below the ground. Always AGL. And a balmy 80 degrees in Vegas. Comfortable night, sort of, kind of, with overcast. Could be rain, who knows. A lot of monsoon type weather has come through, they call it. So who knows. All right, we're not going to touch the export and pre-file button because we're not going to export. All right, so our, again, route Orca 5 to MISEN, and then MISEN renders for arrival to 26 left. Get it, got it, and if you haven't got it, get it. And you all didn't see that. Doggone it. I got to repeat myself again. Now we'll do it real quick. Okay, there's the little blob. Centers up, approach is up, or in our case, departure. There's the numbers, 31,000 pounds of payload. I put on 12,600 pounds overnight. Whew, it hurts. And 139 people, and 40 for the cost index, 29,000 for the flat level. And there's the weather if those are curious. All right, let's get to work. Get up here and start in on our preliminaries. You heard some of them. We did our fire warning checks for engines, APUs, and we also did a CVR, stands for Cockpit Voice Recorder. Okay, fuel pumps are indeed off, batteries are on. Airbus, remember, dark switches are in the correct spots. All dark is what we shoot for, except for a couple of them on here that need to be. If they have something lit up, something's up, or in the case of the packs and the gens, the engines aren't running. Oh my. All right, APU fire check, APU master coming on. We'll drop down, take a look. What we're looking for is flap open. It's also doing some other tests, some Airbus pilots have told me. But overall, when it says flap open, that means it's ready to start pulling the air in just like a jet engine does, because it is a smaller jet engine. And then we hit the start button, and then we wait about a minute. And it'll take it about a minute, spool up, and you'll see the APU gen information go from 0% to the correct numbers. The bleed will show, and it will also say avail or available, one of the two. And that's when we know we can go up top. Now, the cool thing is, with Airbus, a lot of this aircraft is automated. So the pilots can be more concerned with the flying of the aircraft, proper input of the routing in case they're doing it by hand and stuff like that. So they do end up at the right airport. You know, it happens. Sometimes they don't. The pretty boys mess up in the front and forget about it. All right, so you can see it just did come up here. It also says available on the start, so we can go to the bleed. We're going to go ahead and, well, you know what? We'll leave it there, because if I remember right, it won't take much to get it going. And what do we got? We'll keep it on normal for now. All right, we're ready to continue on. Cockpit light check. If you're not familiar, basically we light up all the bulbs. If one doesn't light up and the mechanic's nearby, hey, could you put a bulb in? check out the system, you know, while you're doing it. And everything looks good here, looks good there. Probe heat, dark, good. Air temperature gauge in the middle was auto. Pack is normal, and cross bleed is auto. Electrical panel looks good as well, except for the two faults, because the engines, the mighty engines, in this case the CF56s, are silent right now. And the ventilation panel over here looks good. All right, let's get going. ADIRS 1 goes to nav. That's all you got to do. And just wait for the on-bat to go out. Number 2. Or you could do number 3. You know, I like to count properly. 1, 2, 3. And, you know, pilots may or may not know how to count to 2 or 3 or 4. And when they do, they'll go 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2. So, yeah, you never know. All right, so we're up and going here. All right, come down here. Let's find out what we got for a spot in the coordinates. First off, we're good to the 1st of October. That's coming up. 1st or 2nd of October, there'll be a new RNAC out. RNAC is basically that information in that little gizmo called the McDo multi, goodness gracious, can't remember the C now, anyway, it's your FMS, Flight Management System. Airbus is their little acronym for it. I'm going to go ahead and set it where I want, and let's bring in charts real quick so we can also do our taxi and departure brief all at once. All right, import. That's right, we can import it from SimBrief. Makes our life a whole lot easier. Boom, there's the flight. There it is right there. 26. Oh. What are we doing in the real world? Departures. No, they are landing. 26 left and 1 left. Ooh. Oh, what? Oh. We might do 1 left. Be a little easier to get in, that's for certain. I will have to look at that. All right, but we'll deal with that later. We'll come up here to LA. VATSIM's down. Wait a minute. Are they still online? Holy mackerel, they're down. The reason I knew that, there was no VATSIM ATIS. We'll go with real world. 24 right, 24 left for the landings and departures. 24, 25. Meaning 24 left and 25 right. And they'll shoot off and do their things. All right, so that works. Okay. But we're in here to find out what the heck is 37B's coordinates. All right, so where we're at 37. It kind of, sort of is marked wrong here. We're actually probably more like 33, but we'll probably, you know, we'll take a look. We're in 37B, so let's take a look here. Once we get over to it, that's good, and it clear. 7 minutes to go. All right, so if you have read the manual and found out how to tie SimBrief to this aircraft, all you got to do is click Init Request. I have you go that route. It's going to ask for your actual account number at SimBrief. That's fine and dandy, all of that good stuff. Problem is there's 3 other items you have to decide on, and it's better if you look at the manual, and do it that way than I tell you. Because you may not like the way I did it. 3356.8. Okay, click, click. Come over here to longitude. And all you're doing is you're making sure these up-down arrows by long are there. Okay, so that's what we'll be affecting now. We're looking for 118.24.4. All right, and if you're satisfied, 3356.8, that's good. 118.24.4, we hit align. And then in 5 minutes, it will align to this coordinate closer to your gate than wherever the reference point is for the airport. Okay, get the winds. We can do this here as well. Now, this can also be done in a different way, and I got a feeling, I don't know. I've never been in an Airbus when they're going through this to know truth or fiction. What we're doing is truth or if it's fiction. Because they can download their flight plans, populate it, manipulate it to what needs to be done where they're at, and so forth, along with winds and other items. But I don't know if it's as simple as we do it. You'd have to go through data and ACARS print and functions and so forth, I think. All right, anyway, I just wanted to show that. All right, so let's look at the rest of this. We are going back to SimBrief. We are under a cost index. You know what? We'll do 52. 29's good. That looks good. We'll hit clear a couple times. And click over. All right, why did I skip a couple steps? Very simple. I've got the EFB up already on the weight and balance. And we can do a little check and balance. All right, well, we're going to put 126.6 for our ZFW up here. And then for our ZFW CG, 28.2. I go by the airplane, not by the McDo. And then click the line select. Again, we put 12,600 in the tank, so 12.6. Basically a rounding method to make it easier. And then you can see all our times and weights. Just a quick and easy way to get it done. You can also, now, real quick about the EFB. You can set it supposedly here. I don't. I always go here and use either the mechanic or the attendant, okay, and set them there. Come back to the EFB every time, even when you make the initial entries. Click set to current, and then go back and make, you know, rough estimates if you're wanting to fly it as close as you can to this 126,698. Oh, we would have been closer if I threw another 200. Oh, no, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. Disregard. So, but always click set to current. That gives you the current information. All right, now we're going to check RadNav. Looks good. And the perf page, right? No. No, let's go to F-plan. Why don't we do that first? Always good to get our flight plan up and going. Yeah, and I know you didn't see the EFB because that co-pilot of mine forgot to pull it back. All right, the EFB, actually, let's go ahead and bring it in again. Why? Very simple. It's a very good tool to have, NavGraph charts. So there's our route, as we mentioned earlier, Orca 5, basically to the renders for arrival. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. All right, let's go to plan. I'm going to pull this over. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so one more time, our departure 4 minutes ago showing 2425. Perfect. Let's go ahead, pull up the airport. You can see where we are right up in here. 24 left is where we'll go for takeoff. Click departure. Go ahead and clear the all that GPS is saying real quick. GPS primary. Whoops. Most heard statement before an accident. All right, we're going 24 left, correct? 24 left. Also, always, you know, the longer runways are usually the preferred departures. Usually, not always, but usually. 24 left. No, we're not going to the dark side. We're going to Orca. And believe it or not, yeah, one of the fixes for it is Las Vegas. No, use it. Don't. All right, so you can see 24 left, Orca, MISEN. Okay. I highly recommend you do this next step. Trace it, make sure it's right, because it really stinks when you missed a discontinuity and your airplane just wandering, not doing what it's supposed to be, and then approach goes, what are you doing? My airplane's all screwed up. That's because you didn't check it. You're in a hurry. All right, so let's check it. Let's bring up the Orca 5. So basically what we're going to do, this is your departure brief. Oh, wait, let's do our taxi brief. Okay, we're going to push back into the alley, head up here to Echo, taxi all the way down to Echo 6 or wherever default ATC will tell us to go, or where to go. You know, that's been told to me many a times. And then off we'll go. Pretty simple. Orca 5. All right, real quick, let's do some remembering here. If you were on VATSIM, you will most likely get a PDC here at the airport, or many of the airports here in the basin. Okay. In that will be altitude, initial altitude, it'll say altitude 28,000. We'll just 27,000. We'll just say. All right, flight level 270. Is that what you're supposed to climb to? The question of the day. The answer, no. But I can hear you go, but Captain, they said I could. No. It will say next to that or close to it, your star, or SID, sorry, your standard instrument departure. You're to climb per that document. Now, they may have 10 minutes later, you can ask for it. I wouldn't just go. Trust me, I've heard some of these controllers, they'll get totally irate. Matter of fact, they may blow a couple gaskets and an O-ring along the way, you know, as mad as I've heard them get. And it's really disgusting to listen to. But it's also disgusting the pilot didn't read the chart or didn't have the chart. Look at the chart here. Initial climb. Irregardless what that pre-departure clearance says, your initial top altitude climb flight level 230 in this case. Vegas, I think it's 7,000, 8,000, something like that. I made the mistake there, and a great, gracious ATC guy in LA corrected me. And when I looked, I went, oh my God. So did a guy up at LaGuardia. There were a whole other things going on that I did not see or catch that we got all sorted out at the runway. Not the place to sort those things out, but we got it sorted. Okay, that top altitude is what you go to. It doesn't matter if it says flight level 380. 23 is where you start. You go to that altitude. So when you get off the ground here, he'll probably say vectors to whatever our first fix is, or RNAV. That's fine and dandy. You know, you fly the departure to that and then still continue the departure. When he asks you for your climb, if you're gonna say I'm at 2,000 for, you're gonna say 2,000 for flight level 230, unless he gave a lower altitude. Okay, that's the only time that doesn't play. So always make sure you know that altitude. I know I spent a little too much time there, but it's bit me a couple times, and I've heard it a couple times. I've heard some ugliness come out of the controllers over it. Granted, pilot fault, but it's also controller losing his mind at the same time. In our case, by the way, that departure on VATSIM would read RNAV Delray, as you can see up there. I just didn't have it. All right, so you can see we're going to go to Delray and then vectors out. That means we go until they decide to come back and tell us, hey, you need to turn this way. There are departures out of here that will route you out. They don't like those. They like to tell you. But anyway, we'll get back on course to KEGS, Coop, Orca. And where is MISEN? There's MISEN. So we'll go Orca to Navy, MISEN. And then MISEN, we started an approach that'll put us either on the 1s or the 2526 or 26, I think they are now. All right, so that's how simple this is. Look for your airport. We'll do it here with the arrival. I'm going to keep this manual here so that ATC can do what ATC is going to do to us. And I will be ready to disconnect them if it starts getting really goofy. All right, so we'll just kind of clip through here. Clipper, by the way, I believe is over Las Vegas, or very close to the VOR. Why they don't use the VOR anymore, I don't know. I don't get that one. KEGS, Coops, Orca, and Navy, MISEN. And then we're going to hit another discontinuity. Now, where these get real tricky with you in flight, if you get to, say, Navy, MISEN, or possibly past it, and you change the runway, we'll just say, guess what? It might take you back to the beginning. You got to be ready for that. The Airbus is, you can do it, but you got to be ready for it. Just letting you know. All right, so here's what we do. Click Las Vegas, click Arrival. Now, we just mentioned 1. Let's take a look at the render for Arrival. We have a couple things we could do here. All right, now at renders, we have 2 routes that diverge. Grandma, Beatty, Envy takes us to the 1s. Rumley, Hemet, Slots, Jaeger, Hang on, I'm having a hard time. I think Beatty might be the fix. I'm kind of confused here. Let me see what it says over here for the 2.6s. So it's Renders, Grandma, Beatty, Cross Envy. Okay, now if we're going the ones, Rumley, Hemet, then track to slots. Where the heck is slots? Oh, we're over here. My bad. What's this one? Run. Oh, for the 8s. My bad. Okay, I misread the signs over here. So yeah, we'll go Rumley, Hemet, slots, Rome, and that'll set us up for the arrival. And then Grandma, Beatty, Envy, and so forth over for 3.6. Again, ever confused like I was? Hey, guess what? There's directions. Read them. Don't look for a YouTube video like some have to. By the way, MISEN at or above 24,000, you can read the signs in. Yes, we're going into a little higher terrain. I think the airport itself is like 2,500 feet above sea level, so keep that in mind. All right, now is when we need to first decide how we're going in. The preferred way is always the 2.6s. However, the ones, let's look at that. We'll look at the winds more importantly. But here's the ones, and we're going to be parking in here. Northwest would they have been there with the new terminal? I'm trying to think. I'm going to say no. No, I think they were. I do think now that I think, yes, they were. So either way, we can land. Okay, so 2.6 left or one, what was the other option? One left? One left. All right. You know what? We'll just do 2.6 left. And while we're at it, let's do a quick look. Is there any departing, landing 262 left? Simultaneous notice. Okay, they're not saying anything about a particular ILS. So, one neat thing you can do here, we already got the renders in. Let's click select. So, if we go to 2.6, we'll do the Yankee, and we're going to come up Bourbon. We're going to kind of just turn in, kind of like an RNAV, except 10 miles out. Believe it or not, they used to be past Boulder City turning in. So, matter of fact, that's probably the Zulu. All right, so we'll do that. And we'll just keep to it with a 7-knot tailwind. Ooh. And if, God forbid, they change runways, we may have to hand fly it. All right. So over here, we did the 2.6 left Yankee on the renders for arrival, Bourbon, MISEN. So again, ILS 2.6 left via the Bourbon off the renders 4 from MISEN. Click it, and let's just finish it up. And now Airbus starts where it left off. So all we got to do is find MISEN. There it is. And then just go through looking for discontinuities. Boeing, there more than likely will be for each transition, each via, it will have a discontinuity to clear. That's why I always know you're in a Boeing when that happens. But they're easier to not have that problem. Just put it on heading. Yeah, that means you can't go to sleep and hope it won't. Boulder's our holding point, and I forgot what our CDC. What was CDC? Cedar City Regional is where we go if we have to divert. Go back to ARC. And that, folks, is our flight plan. The longest part of the whole trip, getting that plan. But that is the most critical in the whole part of this flight, because you do like getting to the right airport, especially if you're flying for a VA. They don't like it when you land at the wrong airport. Neither do the real airlines. All right, next up, again, we'll do a RADNAV check. Okay, we've got a way back if we need it. There's the perf page. Some of you will just go click, click, click and be done. I come over here. I click in, find out what numbers are, if we're not even close in this case. Wow. All right, 270 at 12. Temperature 22, oops. 2, enter. And we got, where's the barometric pressure? There it is, 7. Enter. And we'll rock it on down, and we'll go ahead, and keep the air conditioning running. All right, we have a 10,800 foot runway. Not computed. That's what we're doing right. Whoa, what happened? Why? Oh, I know why. It's 270 at 512 knots. You know, we ought to be able to take off. Why not? Whoops. Click. Let's try that one again. 1, 2, enter. Compute. I mean, it's right down the runway. We ought to be being blown backwards when we got into the air. Actually, just sit on the runway and levitate off. So, all right. So we'll be flex 1. Yeah, we'll just go with it. All right. So. $139, $139, $141 all looks good. So how do we do it over here? Uplink. Check your numbers. You can't change the temperature. Anything blue you can change. So 29.97. Oh, why did it not record the first 9.97? All right, 270 at 512. That was wild. And we're doing flaps 1, so we can leave it as is. Request. The asterisks gone, and we'll be able to get the data here in a moment. It'll tell us. Receive. This is if we go toga. Maximum data. All right. Clear. We are not. So let's click flex. And for the most part, the numbers match. Sometimes they won't, because that temperature difference we had could cause an issue. Here, it's not because of what we got wind-wise. All right, so 139, 139, 141, up 0.6. Looks good to me. Let's insert it. All right, and if you all know, I always check black box just to see if he's got better altitudes than I have a clue about. And if he doesn't have KLAX, shame on him. I knew he did. All right, 1130 times 2. And what that is our thrust reduction will occur at 1130 feet, and our acceleration to 250 starts at 1130 feet. Now, our engine out for 24 left is 1700. So what that's saying is we will stay in takeoff till 1,700 feet if we lose an engine after V1. At 1,700, then we'll nose over and begin our accel. Okay. And if you're curious and you're on Twitch about Black Box 711, he is a streamer, a real world Airbus driver now. And I believe I got it confirmed correctly, now type rated in the 787. So not only an Airbus driver, but now a Boeing 787. Congrats again. I know it's been a while since you've had it. Great deal, great job. But if you go to that site and type in your ICAO, especially when you're in Europe, you will get a page that'll give you the numbers for the thrust reduction, acceleration, and engine out. Great guy, great streamer. Check him out. All right, and since we just loaded everything into the McDuke, guess what that means? It's about time to boogly woogly. First thing I want to do, get rid of the luggage loaders. We can watch that outside. I say that quickly. All right, and with them leaving, the other thing we can do now, since we're on, come off, get the fuel pumps up and running so they don't yell at us, get the seatbelt sign on. Come over to here, click ISCS. This is the same as going to plugins and ToLiss, open ISCS. I still highly recommend, no matter what plane you're in, turn it off on the panel first, then get rid of the external unit. There are aircraft in the flight sim world, I don't care which side of the fence you fly, X-plane or the other one, that when you disconnect the ground power with it turned on the panel, you lose everything and you got to re-put it in. Stinks, and some people, that's it, I'm done, I'm not flying, this airplane stinks. Okay, you know, we can argue that. One last check. Oh man, it's tempting, but nope, we said we're gonna do it. All right, so there you go, the airplane's ready to go. Now let's get the radios ready to go. Why am I off? That's interesting. Okay, get over here and get you up to the X-ponder and everything else set, ready to go. We're just waiting on whatever they're doing in the back. All right, so let's come up here, click ATC window. All right, we are November 340, November Bravo. Airbus, no, we're not a Neo. Hang on, hang on. Where the heck is it? Well, I'll be doggone. You got to put the Neo in. Oh, look at that. They got the... What? Oh, here it is. Not really. There they are. Down. Why wouldn't it come up that way? Oh, I see why I didn't put the hyphen in. I don't even know if the airline will come up. Well, I'll be doggone. There it is. And our flight number today, 2. I said 2. Flight plan, departure, arrival, KLAS, alternate case, I'm going to lie here if I don't look, CDC. Now, they have set it up to where you can put it in as like a flight level. I'm just going to do 29123 and our route. Orca 5. We'll see how this works out again. Why not? Wait, what fields need my attention? Huh. Oh, it does not know this arrival. Well, that stinks. Huh. I am not about to tell it. All right, well, we won't be able to do it this route. Okay, they're saying they have a, hang on, clear departure, VATSIM. Okay, it's still like the real world. All right, well, that kind of stinks. My whole plan kind of went up in smoke. So I guess we'll have to fire up VATSIM. Wasn't what I wanted to do. And it is currently 20, we'll go 0. Where's date of flight? Today is now the 29th, right? Yep. Zulu, that is. Sorry for the change out. Kind of bums me out. Huh. Tower just went down. Okay, we're going to be on 4701. And I'll tell you one thing I didn't check. Dang it, I hope I didn't screw up. Oh, good. Usually I will check to make sure nobody's in my spot. All right, let's do it. Again, sorry for the lengthy letdown there. I was really hoping to go with ATC, and all of a sudden the onboard ATC said, I don't know that star. So we'll just fly this way. I got one more thing to do here. .ctaf KLAX 2950 20.950. Well, if I haven't done it already, I really hope you all had a great weekend. Pretty much the world, minus a couple of more time zones here in the US, are already on Monday, and I hope you all have a great week. Kind of my prayer, we all do. So, all right, so we got that put in. We're on, wait a minute, 950, Mike, come on, get the right frequency. Okay. I don't even know if that blob is still between us. No. Okay, so this request put better pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Los Angeles traffic, northwest 2, pushing back stand 37 Bravo for 24 left.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, nobody behind us, so here we go. Well, let's get that beacon on. I thought I had it. All right, seatbelts are on. Okay, and with it available, we'll crank up number 1.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, we're about ready. Okay, and AP bleed flaps, ground swell, we'll wait. All right.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Always we have fun. Always. All right, if people should be clear. Flaps pitch. Okay, ground spoilers into the armed position. Flaps 1. And trim set. Oh wait, trim is not set. We got to do that here. Okay, we said up 6. I have a hard time reading those little.
Traffic, good evening, United 1116. Taxi runway 25 right from Terminal 7 via Charlie 7 Bravo Bravo 1.
Okay, we're set there. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Hang on. And I know y'all are going, why do you take so long with the controls? I have a SATEC flight system here, and it seems when I go through what it would take to recalibrate it the old way in FSX, it does a lot better and it doesn't snap the flight controls when I'm on approach down the road. Okay, that looks good. And put you on F plan and clear that. All right, what's up next? EPU slides, doors closed, auto brake to max. Cabin, let's get the cabin. Lights. And takeoff check. Why are the hydraulics on? Okay, let's get moving. Los Angeles traffic, Northwest 2, taxiing out of Terminal 3 for 24 left.
LA traffic, Speedbird 21 Bravo Heavy, 10-mile final, ILS 25 left, LA.
Make sure we
LA
got all.
traffic, United 1116 departing runway 25 right, summer 2 departure.
Okay, we're ready to go. And Los Angeles traffic, Northwest 2 departing 24 left, RNAV Delray. Into the sun we will go. %, looks good. Punch it.
LA traffic, Speedbird 21 Bravo Heavy, 3-mile final for 25 left, LA.
100 knots. B1, rotate. Positive rate gears coming up. Now the cool thing is I can turn the autopilot on right now. You gotta wait till at least 800 to 1,000 feet in Boeing. Now when you get on some of those departures in Europe, yeah, it gets to be a royal pain in the rump. Okay, we're airborne. Engines in climb, lights at 10,000, we're looking good. Okay, we got traffic. About 11 o'clock, a 9 flight. Not sure which way he turns. We all should be turning left.
traffic, traffic.
For all I know, he's headed to Hawaii, for all I know. So we're going to do our thing. All right, we are above the 11,000 foot base here, and we're turning to parallel the runways, roughly. Once we square up here, then I'll go direct. There we go. Turning on course, direct clipper, and on our way to Vegas. Boy, I'm going to tell you, I talked earlier a little bit about it. The monsoon conditions that have been hitting Phoenix here of late. Wow, saw some impressive video yesterday. Reminiscent of 93 here in, 93 here in St. Louis, with water coming out of the manholes and all of that. Actually, shouldn't even say that. I mean, this was just a few months ago. We had heavy rains like that. Took out a few interstates for a couple hours. Just incredible what they're getting right now in Phoenix. Happens every year, though. Moisture comes in over the Baja. They call it the monsoonal type. And from then on, though, they're pretty dry. So it's called a desert city for a reason. So don't expect it to rain in the desert, or Southern California for that matter. Just kidding, guys. I know you all need water desperately. So, but yeah, that has been impressive over there in the Phoenix area. Plus that big haboob / dust storm that blew through there a few weeks ago, caught on YouTube. Those, those are always pretty impressive to see. And I know you guys that live out in the Middle East. Oh yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, they happen all the time. Just, you just hunker down. Just like you guys with severe thunderstorms, they blow through and then we get up and pick up the pieces. Still impressive to see that wall of dust coming your way. All right, we are out of Los Angeles, on course on the Orca 5 departure. And San Gabriel's, I believe, is that mountain range ahead of us. I think. I'm not going to swear to it. Just because I was born in that region doesn't mean I know that region. I've only been back a couple of times and only for a couple of hours. So just long enough to say, oh, I am so glad I don't live here. Although, you know, there are always times I've driven in to certain areas you would never think you'd want to live and go, you know, maybe. The more I think, not a chance, LA. No offense, not a chance. All right, we are headed out. 29,000's the top. And Vegas is still the same, 53 minutes now late. Landing 26 and 1. Now we have the choice. If I want to flip-flop it to runway 1, I could. Boy, that was a real letdown that the ATC didn't have that one. Huh, I wonder why. And I thought that was supposed to update with Arnex. Or maybe it's just the betas that update it. I'll have to get into the ATC manual again. And see what's going on. But I'll tell you, I am tempted right now. Yeah, there's nothing showing up. I just did a broad sweep to see. There's no weather out there on NavGraph at least. I'll keep it on. We'll see as we continue. We've got the radar turned on in case we do run into tomorrow's flight. We could. Let's put it that way. We have a better chance of seeing weather on our radar tomorrow than this flight. And in case it has not come up, there it is for tomorrow. I had Charleston lined up first, but weather conditions changed, and this is why I say there's a better chance. Tropical storm, I don't know the pronunciation of it off the top of my head, will be hurricane strength at that point. However, South Carolina go, well, if the National Hurricane Center is correct, you can go, missed that one. Yeah, it is expected to hook and not hit you. That's what they're saying at this point. You know what they were saying a few days ago. So still keep your eyes, but at least breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief until that hook actually happens. Still keep, what am I going to do if it comes into my area? It's amazing. It took till October for one to come close to the, well, I guess we had that one that really churned up the ocean but didn't come ashore of North Carolina. So yeah, we didn't have any direct landfalls so far, so, and we're only in the eyes, let alone halfway to 3/4 of the way through the alphabet like most seasons are. So I guess we could say praise God for that you all didn't have to go through your preparedness and actually execute. So. No, I was just looking to see, um, if maybe I typed something wrong, but it was a copy paste. Right, here's 29,000. Orca just passed. All right, we've leveled off. Let's get those people a chance to buy some alcohol back there and pay for the flight. And you thought they turned them off for your comfort. All right. Just looking over the arrival. Let me just pop out here. Alrighty. Azul gave us a raid. Sorry, Azul. Tied up in getting the aircraft from point A to point B. Thank you for the raid. Sure appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Raiders, welcome in to Flying with Mike. We sure appreciate you. Been in the flight sim world for about 25-ish years. Started in the world of Microsoft with 98 or 2000. Never can remember which one I started with, but 2002, 2004, a century of flight. FSX was the end of that world for me. 2020 came around, the infamous year of 2020, and my computer decided to run out of memory, gave me a good reason, and Hawker 125, who moderates, I'm not sure if he's out there today or not, but kept pushing and pushing, so I pulled the trigger and came over to X-Plane 11 and haven't gone back, will not go back. Very happy with X-Plane 12, X-Plane 11 and 12, through all the betas and all the great aircraft that have come out. So welcome aboard. I've also been streaming about 5 years as well. That same year allowed me to start this interesting journey. You all can blame Captain Mac for that. Kind of unknowingly pushed me into this world. And no, he's a great guy, great streamer. He's re-entered the world after being out for a while. Great streamer. Great job. Great Christian, and glad to see him back in the air. He's been missed, and glad to see him. Even though he flies those airplanes that aren't supposed to fly, he sure seems to enjoy them. And by the way, I'm talking about helicopters. So, but yeah, he makes it look easy, and that is a good thing. So welcome back, Captain Mac, and thank you for not knowing, but you really helped get me to say, you know what, I think I could do that. And I've been doing it now for 5 years. All right, we're coming up to top of descent. We got some work to do here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back over here, hit the landing performance. Bear with me 1 second, METAR. File, this may not be up to date. Let's see, last one, 2256. Oh no. All right, so winds here are 170. We'll try to get them put in the first time right. At 6, okay, 27 degrees still. Nope, dropped a degree. And we are on landing. Okay, so 2998, still good. All looks good, and we'll hit enter. All right, according to the computer here, we'll need 7,500 feet, almost 7,600 feet of a 10,000 foot runway to do our thing. By the way, how did I know the two did not match? Real quick, here comes charts at you. All right, if you look at the METAR here, right here is your airport. Next to it is the time. The first two numbers are your date, number date. The next two are the next four are your Zulu. We've crossed Zulu, which really runs mostly through London, well, through England, down through France. It's the Rose Line, if you ever watched the Da Vinci Code in movie world. On down, it's 0 latitude, no, longitude, sorry, get my coordinates right. 0 degrees longitude. So they have long since, well, no, they aren't long since, they've just crossed midnight about an hour ago. All right, so let's get in here, click next phase, and let's get rid of charts real quick. We got to do this kind of quick. All right, QNH 29. Now you have to put the decimal in. Follow the chart right here. See it? 26. We said 170. You know what? The ones would have been tricky. Two six, probably 200 feet, but let's make sure. Yeah, 200 feet. Clear that F plan real quick. No performance. Hit it. We got to start our descent now. Take it on down to, go to 10,000 real quick for now while I get caught up. About 8,000. And if you just let the plane do it, it will get itself into position. There'll be a green dot coming up, and when it gets in between the yellow lines here around the 28,000 right now, go clicking down, you'll be in that sweet spot for the descent. All right, and if it doesn't want to, you know, you can always go into an open descent instead of a managed. And there it comes. See the green dot coming up? When that gets in where it says 26.8, now 7, now 6, you'll be seeing the vertical speed pull up. And there you go. And for now, let's get the seatbelts back on. And we're descending in to Las Vegas. Remember, what happens here has to stay here. That include bad landings. Sorry, folks, couldn't resist. I know, I'm the only one that laughs at my jokes. Oh, 119. $119.9. Now, technically, okay, a big controversy out there. I was gonna talk with a guy, he probably was a governor. I'm not gonna dispute it. Into Chicago one day. I had just got on the ILS, and we're about 18, 20 miles out. Now, more than likely, well, you don't talk to tower till you're at least at the map. Sorry, let me rephrase that. At the max, 10 miles out, like the Concorde did into Los Angeles this earlier. You don't talk 20, 30 miles out. Sorry. People on the ground can get over it till you get within technically 5 miles. But 10 is a good bet. The big thing I think he was really wanting is people to get on CTAF. If you're flying in North America, not just the U.S., North America, that includes Canada, Mexico, many of the central, well, actually all of Central America, I believe, Caribbean included, CTAF. You should be on CTAF. Too many don't want to switch. So to combat that, what I'll tell you to do, what I suggest, let's put it that way, monitor Unicom. So many people out there just refuse to go to it. Case in point, not the U.S., not CTAP area. This actually happened in Bergen, and I don't know if only one of my regulars would be on, but if this hour of the night, if he's on, oh boy. Sweden or Finland? I think it's Sweden. But anyway, ground did their job, got me all the way out towards the runway. They didn't tell me about the plane on final. That's right, they did not tell me about the plane on final. So I announced I'm taking the runway and going, and the plane on final didn't really care. Kept trucking right on in. He was about a 2 to 3 mile final, which I was wrong in not looking, but would have been nice if the ground controller said you might want to hold up. There's an aircraft short final. They didn't. So even outside the U.S., look before crossing the hold lines. Okay, and we said 2998. Yay, same one. Cool. All right, 12 minutes old. We're still 2.6. Wow, one left. That would be still, that's almost 180 degrees. Tailwind, direct tailwind on you coming into the ones. Whew. But I guess they don't want you to be seen coming down the strip. I don't know, for the 19s. You know what? Let's take a look. This is where on radar it's possible there could have been stuff. Nope. There is some stuff, kind of, sort of, maybe with these clouds over here. But yeah, we're pretty well. It's a desert, folks. It doesn't rain in a desert. That's why it's a desert. But we concluded we're doing brakes low. I'm going to go ahead and clip them medium. And again, tomorrow, you can see it there. We're going to fly. Now, we're not going to fly the new ToLiss A320. We're going to do a little real-world American Airlines flying with Virtual American. Although the time will probably be off. Although you can technically set it. I don't know how it works with the future. Anyway, it'll be Chicago O'Hare to Fort Lauderdale, A321. So I believe the aircraft that I'm planning is a 231. So the IAE engines. Why people love this engine, I don't get it. We all have our own, you know, what we like, what we don't. So I kind of don't. I like the way this CFM looks. Two reasons. One, I just like the way it looks. And two, when they go into reverse, it's these hatches that open up on four sides. Kind of like the old DC-9 737s with the clamshells that opened up behind them. Kind of like that. But, you know, to each their own. All right, we're at 16,000 feet. Kind of sort of get what people say this is called the bowling ball look. And I'm probably going to get gigged because they got sharklets instead of fences. But I think it's a neat color scheme. I will give them that. Oh, yay, we're going to land into the sun. And that's, again, another reason why the ones could be preferred right now. You don't have to go head-to-head with the sun. We're well past that. See, there's one guy. Gal, not on CTAF. One thing I do want to test out one day is CPDLC in this plane. US is very either VATSIM controllers just don't, or maybe real world. But over in Europe, they seem to use it a lot. I just like to see if I like it or not. I haven't had a chance. Every time I get a controller that's using it, they go offline within 10 or 20 minutes. And they really don't. And they know I'm wanting to test it out and or learn about it. Hey, I found Vegas. If you can't find it, it's that light beam right there. So we're coming into the area. So one thing I wish, and I know the US controllers fought tooth and nail to end the years of texting for departures, which they didn't realize is actually more accurate than they're telling us. But they were lazy and didn't want to type or set up short keys. Vegas coming into view. All right, let's take a look at the renders. 11,000 here at Envy, 9,000 or higher at Red Quinn, and then Bear Bend at 8,000. Oh, we're still set. I thought I dropped that. I did. Oh, never mind. I am set to 8,000. That's our next constraint. Oh yeah, I guess we're at 250. Okay, cool. Now we're slowing to 210. Yes, that's Vegas, where the light beam is, and just east of it, the airport. All right, we're in X-Plane 12 beta or 3.0 beta 3. Now, we are not on a Mac. From what I understand, the Macs were having some kind of a problem, and they rolled it back. So if you have been away, you got X-Plane 3.0 beta 1, maybe beta 2, but then kind of drifted away because life is, you know, how life can be. You won't get beta 3 right away. And if you have it, they told me I don't have to worry about it. So I'll say the same to you. And I'll be honest, I don't know what the Mac users were having troubles with. Um, no offense if you're a Mac user. As soon as they said you're okay with what I have, I kind of tuned out. So my apologies for not being able to bring you more accurate information. All right, I think the ILS just tuned in. We are looking for IRLE. That's it, 111.5259. Looks good. We're slowing to 210 as we approach 8,000 feet. Okay, so hooks are 5,000. And Vegas traffic northwest 2 on the renders for arrival, crossing Bourbon for the ILS 26 left Yankee, switching to CTAF. I'm not going to be transmitting, but I am going to go ahead and come off it. So what did I tell them? Okay, first let's monitor 122.8 there. Now we're on it. Make sure I'm on the right frequency. 119.9. 119.9. Okay. All right. So now we're descending for the ILS. Next constraints coming up. And hooks are at 5,000, 12 miles out. We'll go ahead and begin slowing to 180 and put some flaps out. As we right now, are we going to nope, we're not going to overfly Hoover Dam. We are over Henderson. Hoover Dam is where you see the lake coming in right over there. Those curious, you know, some of y'all like to fly seaplanes. It's a good lake to practice on, Lake Mead. Again, I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Sorry we were not able to go to X-Plane 12 ATC. They just, for some reason, didn't recognize our star. So we're not changing to accommodate because it's tough. All right, let's go to flaps 1. Hook up the localizer. And Vegas traffic northwest 2 on common traffic. We're on the ILS for 26 left. Well, we got the runway in sight, gear down. Okay, arm up the spoilers. Okay, we are now on the ILS. Let's slow her up. And Vegas traffic, Northwest 2 is at the final approach fix, Relin 26 left. Now, the cool thing is you really don't have to have your hand on the throttle. I'll put it on between 500 and 1,000 because all you're going to have to do is put it in, when it says retard, pull it all the way back, and that's it. All right, winds 110 at 8. Ouch. Master warning is only saying, hey, you turned off the autopilot. Why? Because I'm a pilot. I want to fly. See? All right, 600 feet above the ground. Yes, we're again, remember, 23 to 2,500 feet above sea level.
500. 400. 300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Landing stable.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Vegas traffic, Northwest 2 off at Alpha 5 to the terminal.
Las Vegas traffic, Delta 825, 50 miles east of the field on the Rockstar 4 arrival, with the ILS 26 left. Las Vegas traffic.
All right, welcome to Vegas. We'll look at what the landing rate was here in a moment. Okay. Oh, I thought I hit the start switch. I did not. Oh well, I got gigged all over the place for Piedmont, so stand by. If we actually get the gigging, I don't know. We'll get the landing rate though for you here. He says cautiously. All right, that's not coming in very easily. Okay, so we are up and running. Get those brake fans running. Well, according to the VATSIM system, 22 feet a minute. Wow. I'll take it. All right, well, we're going to go look at the rest of this here in a minute. Hang on a second while I do the final checks. After landing, okay. Forgot the EPU. Okay, everything, fuel pumps off. Now, if you have everything set to auto, things happen automatically. By the way, speaking of which, all right, there you have it. And there you can see the strip. All right, let's take a look here. Let me get in and I want to quickly first take a look at what my flight yielded. Yeah, I know you're pending a review. For the livery. All right, so well, we actually did pretty good. We got our focus points as well. Hey, not bad. 25 minutes. Wow, 100 points landing connected. Cool. All right, so we did good with the airline. That's the cool thing. All right, we can get rid of that page. All right, let's bring in Elevatech. A new flight tracker to the streams. You can see the route, and real quick, we don't, we'll go, why don't we do that first? Complete it, because we'll have to do it again. See, it shows the route now. Let's see where we landed, because I know, yeah, we kind of floated a little bit. Well, first landing 20 feet a minute, then 98 feet. So right on the center line. Oh man, look at that. Oh yeah. All right, now let's see if Sim Toolkit puts us over on the right side. Not bad number-wise. All right, the official scorekeeper is Sim Toolkit. You all can see the number, not bad, 70 feet a minute. Complete. All right, so 59-minute flight, 200 miles, 2,100 kilograms of fuel. Good numbers for the landing. A little on the fast side, hence the float. But when you got 10,000 feet to work with, floating is not normally a bad thing. Not normally. Hey, they put us on the runway we actually land. It's always funny when they're this close, I end up showing data off this runway. But they got it right. 2,000 feet down the runway, 6 feet off the center line. That is what I like. That is what I shoot for. Granted, I still try my best to hit here. I think X-Plane has those marks here, but I could be wrong. It sure seems like it. Because I was watching my vertical speed, and every time I went for that, the gauge would show me low. And I'm like, I'm right on glide path. What? So anyway, pitch on the nose, 5.78, real good. 3 on the roll, right down the runway. Folks, what a great flight, great time with y'all today. I really hope you enjoyed it, learned a few things. I know I learned a few things. Every day I still learn something new out of these planes. All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed. I know I did. And we will be back tomorrow, as far as I know. And the stream is set up for, and for the Twitch folks here. Set to start at 11 o'clock Central U.S. time. That's 1600 Zulu. So you guys got a little math quiz to do tonight to be there on time. Don't be surprised if I'm going early. That's my goal. We got a nice ToLiss A321 flight for tomorrow. O'Hare to Fort Lauderdale. Headed to the beach. Taking some snowbirds down, getting themselves in their hibernation mode out of the cold Chicago winters. So, hope you enjoy. Hope you can join us. We're hoping to catch some weather. That was the whole gist of it until forecast tracks now have it hooking out into the Atlantic. Pretty steep hook, by the way, too. Almost 90 degrees. So we'll see how all of this plays out. Hopefully, I hope that's not bad to say, but hopefully we'll see some of it. But if we don't, we don't. All right. So enjoy your night. God bless you all. And again, thank you, Azul, for the raid. We'll see you tomorrow, 1600Z at O'Hare. God bless. And I really hope you have a great weekend.